Good evening. Well, first of all, I want to thank you for inviting me here tonight. And it's an honor to be here with so many dedicated leaders of the great state of South Carolina. Uh, Definitely want to give a special shout out to Governor McMaster and thank him for inviting me to present tonight as the new emergency manager. With that being said, my name is Andrew Gordon, and I am proud to have been chosen to serve as your next emergency manager for the great state of South Carolina. My vision is to build resilient communities and really set us up as a state to be prepared, respond to, and then recover from any disasters that might come our way. Which, as you know, our state has been plagued with several disasters over the last few years, and we look to see more in the future. Which is why this position and this office is so important to the success of those missions. Emergency management and preparedness is truly a collective effort. I can't do it on my own. My office can't do it on their own. It involves everybody. It requires buy-in from all the stakeholders in the community. That includes government officials, first responders, private sector partners. We can't do it without them. And most importantly, I mean, truly the most important is the community. And only by working together we can build the robust framework for our emergency management system. And then that's how we're going to respond to disasters, by working together. So, what makes up emergency management and what makes it effective during disasters? I think it starts with clear communication, not just communication during the disaster and on scenes, but communication between the state offices, and the communities at large. Uh, Everybody needs to know what their part is, and everybody has a part. And that goes back to from the governmental agencies all the way down to the community members. We all have a part to play in preparing for disasters in our communities. As an emergency manager, we will have comprehensive plans in place, hopefully for every type of disaster that we could possibly conceive, and having those in place ahead of time with action plans already on paper to speed up that response, speed up our assistance to the communities. It's crucial. If we want to minimize the impact of disasters, we have to have those plans. Going back to community involvement, though, without engaging our communities in preparedness initiatives, we can't foster a truly a, can't foster that culture of safety, resilience, plans in place, have an exit route, have supplies on hand, those type of initiatives, fire safe communities. These are initiatives that have been pushed out over the last few years and are really taking off. And I plan to continue that effort with my tenure as emergency manager. Effective specialty response teams. We have specialty response teams in place across the state. We have regional teams uh, through the State Fire Academy and State Fire, and those regional teams, and also task force that can be deployed to other states if needed. Those are vital in preparing for and responding to disasters. These response teams include search and rescue, hazardous materials teams, uh, medical response teams, mass casualty. We've seen how many active shooters over the last few years. We have teams in place that can respond to those, both law enforcement, fire, and EMS, all ready to go. And we're going to continue that training and continue that effort to bring those teams to every community, not just those regional teams. Uh, that way, we can have experts with knowledge that not everybody has in every community to enhance our overall capability and effective response during times of need. The fire department really is generally thought of as the first person we call, right? Whenever there's a problem, no matter what it is, who do we call? We call the fire department. Uh, Over the last few years, over the last couple decades, they went from strictly doing fires to pretty much an all hazards type of organization, right? We've seen them called for the hazardous materials. We've seen them called for about everything, and they need those specialty training as well. They're vital partners. They can conduct our community risk assessments prior to, during the storm. They can go out and do damage assessments, and then they're right there hand in hand with all the other responders and all the other agencies during the cleanup and the recovery phase as well. They provide public education. I talked about fire safe. We have fire safe communities all across the state. We want to continue that education and continue those organizations and those communities growing into fire safe communities. We'll talk about wildland in a little bit. It has been a problem, and we want to get those education programs out there to enhance safety. We want to have those fire departments participate in drills, not just with themselves and other fire departments, but also with the community. Let's get out there and bring community in, make them part of emergency management. We have open meetings every month through the LEPC in most jurisdictions, and those that don't, they have access to them. And we could also do video conferences. And I plan to make that a priority over the next few years to get every community member involved and understanding what it is that emergency management does. What are we without private sector and elected officials having a relationship and having a good relationship at that prior to? If we call somebody up during a disaster and we're asking for something and we've never talked to them before, they're going to be a little more hesitant to provide that assistance that they may have. So building strong relationships between these private sector and elected officials, it's invaluable. It's essential for emergency managers for sure. The collaboration can lead to resources that the state just can't provide, and innovations. We get that input from those stakeholders, those private organizations. They may have something that we've never thought of, and we want to get that on the books too and put that into our response plans prior to. And then during disasters, getting that aid, getting that supplies, food, water, clothing, all those different things, tractors. There's so many different private sector businesses that can assist with disaster response. I will make it a priority to actively collaborate with the state and federal officials, all the different agencies that go into response. There's a lot of them out there. There's a lot of resources available to our state through the federal government, and I will actively work on those relationships as well. This includes seeking grants. Our state doesn't have to pay for everything. The federal government has grants out there that are specifically designed for emergency management to aid our state in being better prepared for those disasters. Data sharing. As a fireman, a little bit about me. I didn't mention this at the beginning, but I have 15 years experience in a couple different fire departments, and we've always done data sharing. There's NIFRS, which is the national data sharing of incidences and how they could be prevented maybe, and changing codes and changing habits within our communities. But also whenever there's an injury, all that data is shared somewhere. And if we can use that creatively and effectively, it'll better prepare us as an organization for the future. And it'll align our strategies and enhance our resilience. Goes hand in hand with that is developing mutual aid agreements, right? I'll prioritize the development of mutual aid agreements with our neighboring states, local jurisdictions. These agreements will ensure that proper resources and personnel can be shared swiftly. Swiftly being the key word. We need to get the aid we need, the resources we need to mitigate that disaster as soon as possible. We can't wait. Waiting could be lives, and we need to get that rolling right away. So those mutual aid agreements are crucial when responding to a disaster and increasing our overall capabilities of that response. I mentioned wildfires a minute ago. We've had several major wildfires over the last couple of years. We just had the Table Rock fire, which lasted several weeks and burned 50,000 acres. That's a lot of damage. Most of that was all woodland. In fact, no structures. No structures were damaged, which is an amazing feat. And I thank all of our local emergency managers that chipped in, our volunteers, and our fire departments that made that happen. Without careful coordination and robust teamwork, that wouldn't have happened. So going forward, I'm going to work with the state and federal wildland crews that are already in our state, and I'm going to promote investing in them, investing in our state, building more fire breaks, conducting controlled burns more often, and implementing community education programs to promote them fire safe neighborhoods. Cleaning out around your house, keeping a fire break between your home and the wildland urban interface. It's crucial, and it will be one of my top priorities. Another priority of mine will be to build trust within our communities. Let's face it, people don't trust the government, and they look at us as possibly not in their best interest at times. And trust is fundamental to effective emergency management. And I'll focus on fostering relationships with our community members and prioritizing equity and diversity throughout, and getting input from all the different community members and all the different organizations at every level. Without their input and their buy-in, our efforts will be hampered as a state level agency. Again, getting them to have resources on hand for the first 48 hours, first 72 hours, and preparing, having an exit strategy if they are requested to evacuate in the case of the coastal flooding or a hurricane or tornadoes or anything like that, which could cause them to trust. And that goes back to communication. We need two-way communication with that trust. The more communication, the more accurate information we give them, quicker we give it to them, the more likely they will be to respond appropriately to our request, and aid in our response. Supporting training. We got to develop and train our firefighters, our first responders, our law enforcement, EMS, prior to. The state emergency office will support ongoing training and development of our first responders. It's a priority again. This includes offering workshops, simulations, access to resources that they might not otherwise have. This will empower our emergency responders to do a better job of not do a better job. That's not what I want to say, because they do an awesome job right now. To be more effective by having the tools they need to effectively respond. Again, grant writing, I talked about that a minute ago. This will be a priority for me, and assisting local agencies as well in how to write those grants. And we will be putting on classes for grant writing at the local level, so they can get those resources and that training they need so they can have the specialty responses. So what is my vision? Again, my vision is to have a resilient South Carolina. Together, that's how it's going to happen. Together, we can build that resilient South Carolina. This is going to be one where every community is prepared. They are ready. Every voice is heard, and our partnerships strengthen our response capabilities and just make us better at what we do. So what's my call to action? I invite each of you. You are leaders in our communities, to work with stakeholders, other community leaders and citizens, and join me in this vital mission of making us more resilient here in the state of South Carolina. Let us work together to enhance our emergency management practices. That's the only way we are going to be prepared for whatever emergency may come our way. Thank you for your time, your commitment, and your partnership. It makes our state safer and more resilient. I look forward to working alongside with each of you in the days coming ahead. Again, partnerships. My office will be open. Anybody that wants to come by and talk, I will gladly take a meeting with you, and we can share ideas. I can listen to your ideas, your feedback, What are we doing right? What are we doing wrong? Uh, what resources might be available that I haven't seen? Again, those partnerships are vital to our success as a resilient South Carolina. I want to thank the governor again for inviting me, and I want to thank everyone for giving me the opportunity to serve as the next South Carolina State Emergency Manager. Thank you. Have a good night.